Hello and welcome to another episode of Gamer Bullshit. I'm Austin, and with me tonight is Jacob as always, even though he's a loser.
What? Hey, now. Hey, that's totally uncalled for, dickweed.
Everyone knows you're the loser.
Everyone just no.
Everyone shall
No.
know that this is the Nintendo episode to remember Satoru Iwata. I hope I said that correctly. Because
Yeah,
he
why
has
would you butcher his
recently...
name? Why?
Hey. Because he has recently passed away at the middle-aged age of 55. Which is pretty depressing because he probably still had a ton of life in him if he didn't die.
Yeah. It's definitely sad to hear about someone in the video game industry who was a pivotal part in several franchises passed away because of cancer. I mean, cancer just freaking sucks. Unfortunately, we don't know a whole lot about the man himself. Like, of course, you can always look up stuff about him, but if you don't really know anything about him, I mean, what's the point? So I think it's fair to, I think in remembrance, just to maybe talk about some of our favorite Nintendo franchises, games, maybe systems, and then maybe even like characters that are just defining, because he did have an important part to play with Super Smash Brothers, and Kirby, and yes, there's one other game I can't quite recall. Just give me a moment while my computer is being really dumb and slow.
Your computer is dumb.
My computer is dumb.
I
Like,
don't
it's freaking...
like it.
Oh, and of course, Pokemon. Duh. Wow.
I didn't think he had
Like,
a
he was part of that.
in Pokemon, did he?
Yeah,
I know he was one of
when
the
he worked
creators
as a
of Kirby.
programmer. Yeah, when he was a programmer at HAL Laboratory, he helped develop games like Super Smash, Kirby, and the Pokemon series. And also, when he became president in 2002, he helped develop the Nintendo DS and the Wii video game consoles. So I mean, he's definitely had some kind of impact in the video gaming world where, yeah. Oh, and he aided in programming Pokemon Stadium. How rad is that?
All right.
That's
That's pretty flippin'
so
awesome.
cool. Yes,
I
it
gotta
is.
say that. But,
Yes.
as we have already said, he was a game developer at HAL Laboratories, which, of course, is, if I remember correctly, a Nintendo first-party developer. Yes.
Right.
And
yes.
he eventually became the president there. And then, I don't know exactly the details that happened afterwards, but I feel like he became CEO of Nintendo after that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. So I mean that's pretty crazy. He
Started out as a developer.
He started as a game developer, but like I guess he was he was always interested in game developing because if I remember correctly, I heard in like an interview or something that back in like 2005 or 2006 something like that he missed game developing, and he would like to do more of it. He just doesn't have the time of it because of him being, the CEO of Nintendo. So he always had that gamer part of him. If he wanted to develop games and help with them and all that, it's just like he couldn't do it so much when he was the CEO because, I mean, come on, you're the head of a company. Like, you have a lot more on your plate,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome though. Not a whole lot of big wigs have actually been part of the development process. So I think they kind of gave them an advantage a little bit because, like, oh, this guy knows what it takes to make a true great franchise. And it, like, even though we didn't follow, at least us two, we don't personally follow Nintendo a whole lot just because the games don't quite appeal to us like they did as children. It's still a sad week in the gaming world. I know this is about 5 days after his death or so, but it's just when we were able to do the podcast, and it is truly a sad time in the video game industry, and hopefully Nintendo can uh, keep him, like, make his I guess spirit known, like keep his spirit around, making really good games for kids and adults alike, and maybe making some new stuff along the way, and just never forgetting where you're from, just like all about
Yes.
your roots.
May he rest in peace, and also I hope that his
Exactly.
family will be okay. I know it's recent, and
Yes.
so they're all still in mourning, but I hope for the best for them because, I mean, it's the worst to lose your family member or one of your
It
family
really
members,
is.
especially if you're close to them. So, but
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
know
yeah.
some of the big guys from other companies, such as Microsoft, like Phil Spencer, Shuei Yoshida, however the heck you say his name. I'm just gonna call him
Mhm.
Shuey. Instead of Chewy, like Chewbacca, I'm gonna call him Shuey. So Shuey from Sony, I think said something, and heck, I even think some game developers on Twitter were, paying, or not paying respects, but yeah, paying respects.
Yeah, paying respects. Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's been a lot of just support for Nintendo and the family of Mr. Iwata. I'm not sure if I said that name. I'm not Japanese. Forgive me. Um, but it's definitely a sad week in the gaming industry. Um,
but
what are
to
your, I
but
mean,
what we're gonna do with this podcast to remember him and in honor of him and to respect him, we're gonna discuss a bunch of Nintendo stuff that we were a part of or that we loved, and Nintendo characters and our fondest memories of Nintendo games. So that's kind of how we're gonna go with this podcast. So it's gonna be a nostalgic memory lane podcast. Fair warning, everyone.
so I'm just gonna go on a whim. Like I don't even like what is probably your all time favorite Nintendo console?
My all-time favorite Nintendo console.
Yes.
You already know it.
The listeners don't.
Well, they should. And it's
What
flipping
what?
GameCube. It's the Nintendo
Oh,
GameCube, man. It's the little purple cube.
wait, what's that again?
The purple cube of awesomeness and
Because mine's not purple. Mine's black.
radtasticness and radtasticalness.
Mine's black. I don't know what you're talking about. Purple.
Well, the original, the one that first came out the first year it released in North America, was indigo color. But I like calling it purple because we
Indigo.
all know it's more purple than indigo. But
Yeah.
yes, that is my
I don't.
favorite Nintendo
I don't know.
console.
I don't know if it's my favorite Nintendo console. It's definitely like top three though. It's just there's so many great games on that console. I mean, you got, of course, even
Well,
though it
the
wasn't like
reason
the
why it's
original,
my
you
favorite
had Super.
Nintendo console is because it was at the perfect age for me to get into gaming. It came out, I think, roughly when I was 9 or 10 years old, and that's when I finally understood gaming better. Like, I could play games
Yeah.
myself and beat them. I didn't need people's help at that time. So, I mean, I got that game, and then I wanted it. When I heard about it, I wanted it so bad that year for Christmas. I got lucky; my parents did get it for me for Christmas. But I know I wanted it so bad because it just not only were like the new Super Smash Brothers was coming out for and all the other great Nintendo games, but I just have so many fond memories of playing it and playing games that I loved on it. Like, of course, I already brought up Super Smash Brothers Melee, but like Luigi's Mansion, even at the time, I'm going to sound like a pansy when I say this, but it scared me because the ghosts in that game were just so creepy at that young of an age. But that was a great game, and to this day, that's probably one of my favorite Nintendo games right there. Is Luigi's Mansion. Like, I got it as an adult now. I played it on GameCube because I have a GameCube once again. I beat it and I absolutely loved it. Like I want another Luigi's Mansion, to be honest with you. But I remember some titles that weren't really Nintendo first party games, but like you have it, Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee. That was
Yeah.
awesome on the GameCube. You had giant fighting monsters, Godzilla monsters, duking it out, destroying buildings, and it was just, excuse me, it was sweet.
Godzilla!
It just had all of those fun, quirky games that like you could either play for hours, like Mario Party or something, or play for maybe like 30 minutes or an hour, like Godzilla, and then like go do something else. Like I just love the GameCube. I think it's a great game. I really do. And I apologize, listeners, for the barking, but I'm dealing with a dog right now who keeps hearing things.
They don't forgive you. Um, no, I never owned a GameCube when they came out. I have one now, and I always liked playing the GameCube, though. I had several cousins and friends who had it, and I always enjoyed playing it. It was the one console that I really wanted that I could never really get, and it was really upsetting to me. But man, you hit everything right on the nose. I mean, wasn't the GameCube the first console to have a wireless controller with the Wavebird?
Yes, the GameCube. Well, it wasn't the first console or whatever to have the first wireless controller. There were wireless controllers for the PlayStation 1, but the problem is that this was during the time where the wireless controllers, if you were sitting on the couch and looking at the console, if someone stood in front of you, the controller did not work. I forget if it was like infrared or whatever. The technology in it was crappy. But then when the GameCube came out and Nintendo created the Wavebird, that was basically what paved the way for all wireless controllers because it worked no matter what. It worked through people. It worked through walls. It was the wireless controller that was the instantaneous reaction time or that a plugged-in controller would have.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. You don't even think about like some of the stuff that like they came up with at the time, and then you're like, oh wow, that really did kind of do something for that. It's like it's crazy when you think about it. Um, but no, I mean, I'd say probably the GameCube is my second favorite all time, and the only reason it's not my all time favorite is just because I never owned it. And I will say probably my third place is the Super Nintendo. That was the first console that my family had owned ever, and it's the first console I remember. And I played Super Mario World 2, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, a whole bunch of other games. I actually have a Super Nintendo now with a whole bunch of really classic games and everything. It's just sitting on my entertainment system if I ever want to play it. But my all-time favorite,
That's the only
is
Nintendo console I've actually never played. Like, I've never actually sat down and played at least one game on it. I've never played a Super Nintendo.
I will have to bring that over next time.
I know, out of all Nintendo consoles, and everybody loves the Super Nintendo, I played the original Nintendo, I played N64, GameCube, I even played a little bit of Wii from, friends who had it, and I've even played the Wii U, but I have not played the Super Nintendo.
Next time we hang out, I'll have to bring it over to your place, or next time you come over, we'll have to play it if I can even rig it up to my TV at the moment. But I'd have to say all-time favorite Nintendo console, Nintendo 64, man. I unfortunately didn't have a whole lot of games for it. I got it like in 1999 for Christmas, I want to say, and I had Banjo-Tooie and Duck Dodgers. Those are the games I had, and I played the heck out of both of them. I beat Duck Dodgers. Dude, that was a fun game.
Duck Dodgers. I'm trying to remember.
From like
Wasn't
that, like
a cartoon
Daffy
show?
Duck. Yeah, it's Looney Tunes. It's Looney Tunes, man. I was sheltered. You have to remember this.
I was
but
sheltered.
Unfortunately, it's crazy. Well, I only had like 2 games for like a really long period of time, and I don't know why I didn't get other games. I really don't know why. But my cousins had some of the really good games, like Mario Kart. They had Mario Kart. They had Smash, and let's see what else. And I had other cousins that had Hey You Pikachu, Pokemon Stadium, all these really fantastic games. I wish I owned them. I actually need to get me a Nintendo 64 and keep it this time and actually get some games that are really good for it because I'm just feeling really nostalgic lately. But you have all these games, and still to this day, one of my all-time favorite games of all time is Banjo-Tooie. That game is just that is a platformer. That is a great game. I love that game.
Are you looking
I
forward
like
to
like
are you looking forward to that new kick-started game that's supposed to be like a spiritual successor to Banjo-Tooie? It's called like Ukulele or something.
what? There's a spiritual successor to Banjo?
Okay, so
What?
I can't. Man, you need to catch up, dude. All right, so some of the original people from Rare back when they made Banjo, decided to do a Kickstarter of it's not Banjo. It's two completely new characters, but it's going to be basically a spiritual successor with new characters and like that type of platforming. And it's called Ukulele. It's like a lizard
Huh.
and I want to say a bat, I think. Don't hold me to that.
Hmm.
But if you're interested, you need to Google it because like it's already been like way overfunded of its original goal. So, and I don't know what platforms it's coming to. I want to say all three PC. Well, okay, the three main ones that everybody usually games on: PC, PS4, and
Yeah.
Xbox One. I think, but
Mhm.
don't hold me to that. But yes, they are supposedly making a spiritual successor.
Well, if that's the case, my childhood might be just really happy. um, but no, I mean, unfortunately, I didn't own a lot of the games, but there's a lot of really great games. And then there was games that I didn't get to play until I got older, like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Um, I know you never really got into Legend of Zelda, and I didn't really either, but I really appreciate those games, and I've played them, and they're pretty much masterpieces. I mean, and then you got a game like you find out when you're older, like Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I've seen gameplay of that, and that is a freaking hilarious game.
Do you know how
Like,
expensive that game
really,
is now? Like the physical, like
yeah,
the
it's like
physical
it's like 80,
cartridge.
yeah, it's like $80 for used.
And if they have the
It's
box, I think it's
ridiculous.
like $120. Like if they have the
Well, it's
original
like one of the
box
rarest.
and the cartridge, I think it's like even more.
Like it's one of the hardest games because I think due to like marketing like flaws, like they didn't sell a whole lot for whatever reason or something like that, and because it was an M-rated game with the cartoon style, of course back then no
On a
one had ever really
Nintendo
done that
console.
before. I
That's what's
know.
so hilarious. A console, and Nintendo has always been kid friendly. And then you get this game,
Yeah.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. It is like rated M for mature for like really vulgar and explicit content and just it's so raunchy.
Uh, it really is, and it's hilarious. And I mean, I think what happened with that was they like the developers changed. Like it was originally going to be like a kid-friendly game, and then something happened, and someone got ticked off or something, and they decided to just go balls to the wall, you know. Um,
You know, if
but I
Xbox
mean,
really wants to get people to buy their consoles even more, then they should really consider trying to make a new Conker game. I know a lot of people want it. Like
shoot, I want it.
when they announced Conker for Project Spark or whatever,
Yeah.
like people were kind of upset. Like, really, you're gonna put them in Project Spark, but you're not gonna make a new Conker game?
Maybe that's like a bridge way for them doing new things because I think they need to take like older characters and just like uh bring them into this generation. I know like we need new stuff and everything, and I like new stuff, but at the same time, you got to go back to basics a little bit, and you can't just keep going back to Mario and Sonic. You know, Sonic. I can't even remember the last time he
So,
had a good game. Probably on
haven't you
GameCube.
heard Sonic is dead? I'm just kidding. The Sonic
It's
as we
unfortunate.
knew him is dead.
It's unfortunate because Sonic 2 on the GameCube is one of the best. It's probably the best Sonic game ever. But But it's just everything for the 64 is so iconic. You got the controller, which looked like a Mario glove, and it is actually really comfortable, even though it was really funky. It's probably one of the
Dude, that
weirdest
controller
controllers
was
ever.
so
But
weird. Like, you had a D-pad on the right side of the controller, but then you had a joystick in the center and then a Z button on the back. I always held it in the middle with my index finger on the Z trigger. Yeah, the Z trigger, and then, like,
yeah,
my thumb on the joystick. I never used the D-pad unless I
yeah,
had
I
to.
I,
Like, it
I
was the
only
goofiest controller.
but it worked. It was weird how it worked so well. Um, there's everything so iconic about it. I mean, wasn't it like the first? It was the first 3D platform, like 3D gaming console too, wasn't it?
Um, Besides
I mean, I know
PC?
PlayStation. I mean, I'm not talking about PC. I'm talking about like on a console. I know Sony was the first one to do it on disc, but I'm pretty sure that
I,
the 64 was the first
I
one to do
think
full
so.
3D gaming.
I think so.
I mean, it just shows you how influential Nintendo really has been, and people don't even think about it.
Well, okay, they used to be. Now they kind of just do gimmicks.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but
Now, okay, like you can't necessarily. Okay, the Wii was technically a gimmick, but that gimmick helped them sell more consoles than Xbox and PlayStation.
and the fact that it was cheaper.
Yeah, it just. But I think after people got burnt on that gimmick, they realized that why should we buy into this anymore? And and
Exactly.
then when they talked about the Wii U, a lot of people, especially non-gamer people, didn't even know what the heck the Wii U was. They thought it was an add-on to the Wii.
Yeah, and it's like, why would you call it a Wii U? Why couldn't you just call it a Wii 2,
Or just something completely different other than Wii.
Right. But I mean, they definitely had some cool, like, thought provoking. It's like, oh well, what can we do? But no one really wants to be active while playing video games unless it's like just one of those games where it's like maybe like Dance Dance Revolution, like if you're into party games or something like that. But I mean, I don't know. It's just all gimmicky to me. But um, you know, to get away from the consoles a little bit, what are either some of your all-time favorite franchises or your favorite franchise from Nintendo? And then maybe your even favorite. Well, we'll go one thing at a time. What's your favorite uh, Nintendo?
My favorite Nintendo what?
Nintendo.
We already said consoles.
Uh, right? Yeah. No. Sorry. Franchise.
you know, the one
It's so hard to choose.
I don't I don't think it's necessarily hard to choose. I mean, there's a lot of great franchises by Nintendo, but it always seems like, and don't get me wrong, I love Super Smash Brothers and all, but the one that it always seems to come back and bite me just because it's always been fun, even though it's the same thing rehashed every single time, is Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Pokemon's awesome. From its
It
first
really is.
from its first incarnation to what it is now. It's even now I don't even know what the hell's going on anymore with the Mega Evolutions. Like, I'm so far behind now because I've missed like 3 or 4 games because I don't have a Nintendo handheld to play them on, and I don't want to buy a Nintendo handheld just to play Pokemon. So I'm so far behind now, but just Pokemon is probably one of my favorite Nintendo franchises just for the sheer fact that it's always been fun. It's always been that cute / awesome looking, Pokemon duking it out and fighting, and just it's strategic, but it's also like we've said before, it's kid friendly. Like, adults can play this game, and like, I don't know if you've ever seen like the pro Pokemon tournaments and stuff, like when people actually like train a Pokemon a certain way and give it a certain moveset because this is what it's supposed to do. Like, they have roles. Like, I mean, if you think about it, Pokemon, you kind of, I don't know if you would say role play, but like, you can make your Pokemon. I'm just gonna say you can make your Pokemon role play certain roles. This guy's my bruiser. Like, he's gonna beat the crap out of my enemies with physical attacks, and one of them confuses them or something. I think it's like dynamic punch or whatever that confuses enemies. And then like you have another one who's like strictly defensive, ups your party's defenses. It's just a wall. Like, you know what I mean? It's just it's cool.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome, and it's just so cool to see all these weird creatures that Game Freak keeps coming up with. Although I will admit some of the newer ones are a little ridiculous, like what is it, an ice cream cone or something? That's just stupid.
Yeah. I definitely agree. I think it's one of those games where it's like, you could either be the least hardcore gamer or you could be the most hardcore gamer, and you can find enjoyment in it. Because, I mean, come on, it's battling monsters. I mean, the original title of the game was Pocket Monsters. I mean, I kind of wish Pokemon were real, to be honest, because they're so cool.
Oh, dude, if Pokemon were real, I wouldn't have a job. I'd just be a Pokemon trainer. I'd just take everyone's money after beating them.
Exactly.
I wouldn't need a job.
But no, it's like one of those games where, you could be the most like hardcore strategist, or you could just be a very basic player and have fun with it. I never went to like strategy based crazy. Like, I went a little bit of strategy into it, but I wasn't like, oh, this one's gonna be my bruiser and then I'm gonna blah 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 blah. I was just kind of like, okay, I've got certain types, I've got them powered up, and I've got them like set of moves a certain way, but a lot of times, even when I replayed them when I was like 21 or 22 or whatever, I still just kind of charged up my Charizard and just kind of like let him wreck shit,
Oh, I completely understand.
Like,
I to this day,
he'd be like at level 62.
even though I don't have a newer Nintendo handheld, I still have some of my old Nintendo handhelds. I still have I don't have the original Game Boy, but I have a Game Boy Color, I have a Game Boy Advance, I have a Game Boy Advance, and I have a Game Boy Advance SP. And I still have my old Pokemon games because I refuse to get rid of them. I still have the original blue, yellow. I don't have red. I have gold. I used to have silver, but I lost it. And then for the Advance, I have Sapphire, Emerald, and Fire Red. And all of those games I love. I have played them. I've played silver. I haven't played gold all the way through and beaten it, but I have played all the other versions I have. And I love every single one of them. And whenever I get an itch to play Pokemon, I know that I can always go back and play them.
What's your all-time favorite Pokemon game?
Out of all the versions?
Yes.
I'm gonna have the... Okay, out of the ones I have played, my favorite would have to be Soul Silver.
All right.
For the Nintendo DS.
All right.
Because
I hear you.
The reason, not only was Silver one of my favorite versions, but in Soul Silver, back then when there were only like 600 and something Pokemon, you could technically get all of the Pokemon, no matter what means, and you could pretty much get a ridiculous amount of legendary Pokemon in the game. Like, you didn't have to go to a special event or anything. Like, no, they were already in the game already. Like
Yep.
All the newer ones too. Like, you could get Lugia and Ho-Oh, but then they had like Groudon and Kyogre and Rayquaza and all. Like you could start getting the other regions legendaries within Soul Silver.
And it makes sense because it's the same universe.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about it. Is like I got to keep building and building and building my Pokédex up, and that is the first version that I can remember. I'm pretty sure there was another version of Pokemon I cared about the Pokédex, but that was the first one I can recall that I truly cared about upping my Pokédex entry number, and I actually got the last number I can remember putting in. I think I had 403 entries in my Pokédex. I had over half the Pokédex at the time when I had it. And I felt so awesome because not only did I have a ton of Pokemon, I had a ton of awesome Pokemon from previous games because Soul Silver, not only were you able to catch them, but you could plug in your Sapphire version or your Emerald version into the bottom of the Nintendo DS and transfer the Pokemon from your old games onto the new game. It was the coolest thing. It's like, I'm taking a Game Boy Advance Pokemon that's on a Game Boy Advance game and transferring from that game to a Nintendo DS game. And so all that time and effort I put in that Pokemon on, like, Sapphire was not lost because I got to put them on DS.
That is pretty awesome.
And that's another reason why I loved Soul Silver so much, is because you could do everything on it. It was like the best thing ever. I mean, it was almost as good as sliced bread.
Sliced bread.
But I'm going to digress because I'm going on a tangent. I apologize. What's your favorite Pokemon version?
If I was to say just one that holds a place in my heart, I would have to say Silver, because I owned Pokemon Red when it came out. I was like 5, and I loved the game. I thought it was going to be like the television show, but that turned out to be Pokemon Yellow, which I never got to own as a child. I owned some years down the line because you sold me an extra copy you had.
Yellow version's probably one of the best versions ever, just because you can get all 3 starters and Pikachu.
And Pikachu, yes. And not only that, but you can get all the legendaries too.
I'm also a dirty bastard, and I made that bitch evolve.
You made right? Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you saying you made Pikachu evolve.
I'm a jerk. You can't actually evolve Pikachu in Yellow version. You can't. It's literally impossible that I know of. So all I did was I traded him over to Blue version because you can do that, because Yellow version was, fire. It was basically red and blue combined with some extra. So I traded him over to Blue version, gave that bitch a Thunderstone. He evolved, and then I put him back on Yellow and was like, what are you going to do now?
He didn't follow you anymore, did
he? No, he disappeared. Now he stayed in a Pokeball. So Ash was all by himself.
Oh my gosh. I would definitely have to say my all-time favorite is Silver. That was when I was like 8, I want to say, when it came out, or 7 or 8. And that's when I start, like you with the GameCube, that's when I started to get into gaming more. I had a principal idea of Pokemon, I wasn't like finding out the basics, I was trying to, I was getting into it. And the game just expands so much, from the original. Not only do you have the new region, but then after you beat the original game, you can go over to Kanto, do all the do all the gyms over there, and get other Pokemon that you couldn't get in that region. And I don't know, I played that game a lot. But the ones that I've owned Red. Of course, I didn't get them all. When they all came out. This is over time that I have owned. I've had Red, I have had Yellow, I have had Silver, I have had Gold, I have had Crystal, I had Ruby, I've had Sapphire, I've had Emerald, I've had Platinum, and I've had Black. So.
Black. I'm trying to. Oh, okay. You're talking about the one on the DS, right?
Yeah, because I had a DS for a little bit there.
You did?
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
When?
I want to say maybe 2 years ago, maybe.
Dude,
because
I just had an idea.
What?
This is a bad idea too, but we should do it anyway.
What's that?
You and I should go buy some used up DSs, not the 3DSs, because unless you want to play the.
You mean like games. The one? You mean like the ones that can play the Game Boy games?
Yes, but then also we need to go buy a used copy of Soul Silver and Heart Gold, or just both Soul Silver. Who cares anyway? And we need to play Pokemon together again.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We totally need to do, and like we can trade with each other because see, whatever version you get, I'll decide to get the opposite just so we can get all of the Pokemon on the Pokédex.
I like it. I like it. We should totally do it.
We should totally do it.
Like, I'm serious.
And if we don't get a DS, do you still have a Game Boy? 'Cause I still have my Game Boys.
No, I don't have the Game Boy.
Okay. The good news is, I have 2 Game Boy Colors and I have 2 Game Boy Advance SPs. You're safe.
Whew. I'll buy the SP from you.
No, I'm sorry. I like having 2 at all times so I can trade myself.
Oh, I'm going to eat your soul now.
I'm sorry. I don't want to sell it because I've always had that option to trade with myself, and it's extremely convenient when not a lot of people at your age play Pokemon anymore.
Now I'm sad. But anyway.
You know what?
But no, we should totally
tonight,
do that.
I'm going to get on eBay and look up Game Boy Advance SPs to see how cheap you can get them.
You don't have to do that. I can do that.
Well, I'm going to do it because I'm kind of curious to know how expensive they are. Or how cheap.
Yeah, and I'm going to check other games too. Okay, we need to get back,
okay, sorry. Back Pokemon. What's your favorite
Darn you,
franchise?
Pokemon.
This has gone so... I feel bad. This is what happens with nostalgia. Our viewers are bored out of their fucking minds.
Like, oh my god.
These two have been googly-eyed over Nintendo for the past 30 minutes. I'm done with this podcast. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Like, have a good day. Honestly, Pokemon is my favorite franchise from Nintendo. However, if I was to pick a different one, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, freaking Mario, man. Mario!
Well,
whoa!
Okay, since you said Mario, and there's too many Mario games to even go into discussion about that, who would you say is your favorite Nintendo character?
Ooh,
and this doesn't mean just old. This means all of them, new and old.
Oh God.
You can have at least 2.
Now, are we talking just in video games, or are we talking about like cartoons as well?
Video games.
Okay. Honestly, I'd have to say probably the character that I think is just one of the coolest, Bowser. I mean, I'm a sucker for bad guys, and Bowser is just like the ultimate bad guy. I mean, he kidnaps a princess, and he's pretty much the king of all these different dudes, and he's cool. He's probably one of my favorite characters to use in Smash. And he's just cool. I've always liked Bowser, always have. Even as a child, I always thought he was cool. He's like a big dragon turtle thing.
Big dragon turtle thing. Big dragon turtle thing coming for you.
Yeah. He is. And then I'd say if I was to choose a hero, I actually have 2. And one of them I don't think will really count, but I think it will at the same time. And that is if of course to get back on the Pokemon thing, in Silver or Gold, you can play against Red or Blue. I guess I can't remember which one it is, but the epic battle against Red, that's just freaking awesome. And I've actually read up on history of Red, and him and those other characters from the original manga or whatever, they're freaking awesome. They're not bullcrap trainers like Ash. They get shit done.
Ash is the worst trainer ever on the planet Earth. Oh, I'm at a rock and ground gym? I'm going to send out an electric type Pokemon. Oh, I'm at a water gym? I'm going to send out a fire type Pokemon. He's so
what? I have
stupid.
possibly 2 of the strongest Pokemon out there right now with my Pikachu and Charizard. I'm just going to use my Pidgeot that will never turn into or Pidgeotto, which will never turn into a Pidgeot. And then when it does, I will let it free into the wild.
He's so dumb.
He is.
Ash is the worst trainer on the planet Earth.
I mean, he went to Safari Zone and he caught a bunch of Taurus, and what does he do? He just leaves them at Professor Oak's. He doesn't. I mean, honestly, do you really need that many tours? What, couldn't you just let them go?
No, it's Ash.
Like
He's stupid.
he doesn't he doesn't even use the same Pokemon that he catches all these incredibly. If he uses all these Pokemon that he has, why doesn't his Bulbasaur evolve into a Venusaur? Why isn't Squirtle into a freaking
I've
Blastoise?
never
He
understood that
literally
either.
has
Why did he never evolve them?
like
Why?
they never even address it. It's
Did
just like,
Charizard
oh, hey
did
guys.
Charizard scar him that much that he was just like, I can't let my Pokemon evolve because they won't listen to me because I'm a terrible trainer?
Well, he eventually does, but he doesn't even end up training. He leaves him at that Charizard resort, and then Charizard just happens to notice that Entei is going crazy, and so he goes and gets Ash, and he actually listens to him now. But I don't know. But if I was to go for like an actual legitimate character, though, um, I would say probably one that just is just cool. Like, but and then he's also a silent type, but sometimes silent types are the best. Link. I mean, where can you go wrong with Link? I mean, he doesn't say anything. He just goes and kicks ass, man.
That's the
He's
problem.
got
He
a
doesn't
sword. He's
say
got a shield.
anything.
That's probably the worst thing about him. But at the same time,
Yeah!
ah!
Yeah!
Ah!
Oh!
Ah!
Yeah!
That's definitely a Japanese Christian, where the main character doesn't say anything but "Oh!" Oh my God, was that racist?
Oh well.
A little. But I mean, like, unfortunately for Nintendo, like a lot of their characters don't really say a lot, and that's probably the hardest thing to get attached to some of their characters. If I was to say a negative about them, some of their characters they
I
just
know,
don't
because
really
I love
talk.
Kirby, but Kirby doesn't really talk. He just goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I got gum in my mouth, so that wasn't good.
I mean, I think Kirby's awesome, but he doesn't say anything. It's like, Kirby, you're so cute. You're just a pink round ball, but you don't talk. Maybe it's best he doesn't talk, because if he talked, he would sound pretty annoying, I think.
Hey guys, I'm Kirby.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's why Nintendo characters don't talk.
Why? Because they'd be annoying like Ass Ketchum.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you, man? Like, is Kirby your favorite character, or do you got someone else in mind?
Okay, when it comes to Nintendo characters, it's kind of hard because I don't really feel attached to any of them, sadly. I guess just because I haven't played their franchises enough, or I just never cared enough. But,
Except Pokemon. So, right?
yeah, like Pokemon. Can a Pokemon actually be a character? You know? I mean, it technically is. Or is it just favorite Pokemon? Oh, okay, never mind. I won't go with that. But if we're talking about Nintendo, honestly, the first one that comes to my head is Kirby. I think Kirby's awesome. Like, I haven't played a lot of his games, but I played the crap out of this game. Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland for the game. Oh, I need to get that back on my Game Boy. Kirby
Oh my
Nightmare in
God.
Dreamland, the first one on the Game Boy
Yes.
Advance was so
Yes.
much fun. Like,
I
I
played that game
loved
so much.
that game on the Game Boy Advance. Like, I played the crap out of it. I beat it, I think, a few times. I mean, that game's great. And if I remember correctly, isn't it a remake of, like, the original Kirby on the Game Boy or something? I think it
maybe?
is. I think it's a remake of the original or something. So that's probably why it's so good. But, I mean, still, though, I love that game. I'm kind of curious about the new Kirby Yarn game or whatever on the Wii U. Because the graphics to me looked really neat. I'm not saying the gameplay was good. I would just like to see it in action because it looked cool to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's that like the art style definitely is cool, but I don't know, the gameplay kind of deteriorated me from it.
But yeah, out of all Nintendo characters, I like Kirby because like I've never been
And of course,
a big Mario fan or Luigi fan. I never got into Star Fox or F-Zero, so it's like That's in Legend of Zelda. I've never gotten into that, so that cuts out Link. So you know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah. You want to know who one of the best characters developed in Nintendo is? Gary
But that's
from
Pokemon
Pokemon.
again.
I know. That's probably why it's the best franchise besides Mario, maybe. Oh my
Is
gosh.
he or I'm trying to think.
We're fanboying.
We're totally having nerdgasms. Anyway, yes, Gary.
He's like the only guy like I know that can like uh
Actually has a personality.
yeah, pretty much. Hey, did you ever watch that animated where it was pretty much like blue or red, um only like it actually followed like the story of that, not Ash, and it was like dubbed like they showed it on Cartoon Network. Did you ever watch that?
I don't think so.
You need to watch it. It's actually pretty good. They introduced Mega Evolutions toward the end, which I guess was cool because like it came out like right when I think X and Y or something like that. Whenever the Mega Evolutions came into play, like they introduced it toward the end, but it kind of works for the situation, and it's actually a pretty good little short anime thing. Like I recommend it if you want to watch it.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was called exactly, but you just got to look up like Pokemon like red anime or something like I can't quite remember what it was, but I mean it's pretty good.
Alrighty then.
Oh, oh man, we've literally been talking about Pokemon for like 20 or 30 minutes now.
Oh, yep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just Pokemon. It's been
Hey,
out for so long. It's just a huge franchise, and there's so much to it. It's just like, just how, how do you just not talk about it for 5 minutes or more?
and hey, thank God Mr. Iwato made the game, right?
Partly, yes.
Well, he was a developer, so
Game
yes.
Freak developed it. Which, speaking of Game Freak,
Oh,
we're just gonna go. Game Freak is coming out with a game that's coming out on Xbox One and PS4, I think, or just Xbox or something.
really?
Yeah, it's like this
Really?
hippo that I think it's a platformer, and it's like this hippo who beats
Hungry,
stuff.
hungry hippos.
No, not hippo. I meant elephant. Who beats stuff up. I think I don't remember what it's called.
Huh.
Viewers, help me, please. Listeners, whatever. I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, check that out. After you check out Ukulele.
Okay.
But, I mean...
Oh my goodness.
I don't know anything else more about Nintendo other than I didn't like the Wii. I didn't really care about the Wii U, although I have played some Wii U games on your Wii U when you had it, and it was... I could not believe how good a Nintendo game could look in HD. It was beautiful. It was awesome looking. Playing Mario Kart, playing Super Smash Brothers. I mean, it was great. I was like, wow. I was dumbfounded by how good Nintendo games could look. So I'm curious to know what Nintendo is going to do with their next console that's codenamed NX. I'm really I want Nintendo to be relevant again because in my opinion they're not. I just don't feel like they're relevant. Like the only reason why they're relevant is for kids right now, or still for kids because they always will be and always have been.
And remasters.
That and just like it's Nintendo. You know what you're getting. But
Yeah,
overall, it's just like I feel like for my gaming habits and how I am as a gamer and what games I want, it just doesn't appeal to me. So like. I liked, the original Nintendo. I never played Super Nintendo, but I'm sure I probably would have liked it. I liked the N64.
Oh, it's awesome.
And I loved the GameCube. But after that, it just... I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, man. It's just, they had some really good stuff, and then they kind of hit this weird, funky thing where it was gimmicks and... rinse and repeat, same thing. That's just the big thing wrong with the gaming industry. It's like, oh, they like this from like 4 years ago or 10 years ago. Let's remaster and make some more money because they'll love it for nostalgia. It's like, stop playing with my emotions. But I mean, Nintendo definitely holds a place in my heart.
They always
For
will
all
be.
the memories.
We grew up with them.
I mean, come on. I have a freaking plush Charizard like on my entertainment system right now.
I have Blastoise, Charizard, and Venusaur, all hard plastic toys from like the either late 90s or early 2000s in my entertainment room, so I don't have much room to talk.
I hate you. I want those toys so badly.
Dude, they don't make them anymore that I know of.
I know. I wish they did.
It's awesome because they're the versions that Charizard shoots a fireball out of his mouth and tail. Blastoise, if you put him in water, will shoot water out of his cannons. And Venusaur, his flower spins.
You know what I wish I had? Like, I know we're going really off topic here, but I really want the original toy Pokédex.
I know what you're talking about.
I always wanted that, and I never got it.
You know? Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know about you, but I feel like this should be the last thing we talk about and then end the podcast because we've been, we've been nerdgasming the entire time. But okay,
Yes, we have.
so you remember the Pokédex toy and all that they used to make, and they have made I think a few versions of it since then, but there's not like a lot of them that I know of anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know how Nintendo recently teamed up with a mobile game developer to start developing Nintendo mobile games?
Yeah.
They should make a mobile app that is a Pokédex, and it's made by Nintendo and the developer or whatever who's working with them, and basically, and I'd rather you pay money for it. That way, you don't have. It's not like you have to pay little microtransactions, but I could see it working as a free to play model. But you have this app, which is the Pokédex, on your phone, and like you go out, like whenever you go out, like and do errands or something, you're able to like you'll get like a notification or like a call that wild Pokemon has appeared, and you have to capture it and then enter it into your Pokédex.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be the coolest thing ever! I would totally buy that! Nintendo, if you're listening, you need I claim copyright of that. I patent that.
They just need to make a legit open world Pokemon game.
Well, yeah, but they're not going to do that because then why buy all the versions?
Because nostalgia.
Yeah, but see, I want an open world Pokemon game that has all of the regions in it, but I just know it's not going to happen.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
I know.
Oh,
I want
now
that
I'm all sad.
I want that Pokédex app now. That's hot
That'd be
stuff
pretty
right there.
cool.
That is hot stuff right there. My mouth is on fire.
Like, that's weird.
Yeah. My fingers are all tingly.
I would say
I feel fierce.
I would say that might be a good place to maybe end this week's discussion.
Oh, all right. Well, this is Gamer Bullshit, and you can find us on Twitter at Gamer Bullshit with the I as an underscore. You can find us on iTunes and download us for free. You can find us on Shout Engine as the exact same damn thing, and you can find us on YouTube as the same thing. Because we are everywhere, and soon we will be in your homes.
And in your computers, and whispering in your ears, and licking the wax out of your ears.
We're going to be in the refrigerators.
Yeah.
So when they open it, they get a blast of our voices.
Hi, welcome to Gamer Bullshit. This is Jacob, and it's like, oh my god, close the fridge.
Yeah. But yes, with that, we are getting off of here, Jacob.
Peace.